Hello. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you?
Are you still sick?
I'm actually not. It turned out that it was all red tide-induced asthma.
Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, I know, right? So, so that was, that's the good news. It's morning, so I'm a little congested.
Yeah. Well, at least you're back. Don't have to deal with that anymore. Good morning, Margaret and Faye's Cheer. And Charlie. Charlie, we can't see you. And he's a systems engineer, so I know he'll figure that
out. Or not.
There he is. Hey, Charlie.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And gentlemen, yes. Good to see everybody on this Friday.
Yeah.
Still chilly, which is nice.
Still a little chilly here in Florida, yeah. A little bit.
Here. I'm looking out my front window. We're the house that has all the inflatables in our neighborhood. So I'm looking out at 4 snowman inflatables and 1 stormtrooper with a candy cane inflatable.
And they're still inflated?
Yeah.
They're inflated.
Because nothing's sadder than the ones. They're all like crumbled to the ground.
Yeah, in the mornings that they've all deflated.
Yeah, we retired one this year that tended to deflate in the night. So it was very sad.
I'm sorry. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. I'll give everybody just another minute. Connie, Joe, Mary Beth. Debbie's not joining us today. She's preparing for her Blogbuster retreat.
Yes.
I think so. Judy? Somebody's doing that today.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Judy is, yeah. And so she'll get that. Good morning, Charlie. How are you?
I'm doing well. You?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
I know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
I know that room.
This is my study.
Yes.
No longer my office, so.
It's a study. Oh, I like that.
It's a study.
Yes. It used to be Michael's room, and now
yes.
Send him to college, and Charlie's like, I'll take that space, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Here now.
When I went to college.
Yeah, that's the advantage of kids go to college. As Margaret got us started, please open the chat box and put your first, last name, and email address in there. And we'll go ahead and get started with our elevator speeches. And if anybody joins us, they can just call names. Let me open up my Brady Bunch. And Susan, I can see you're typing, so I'll go ahead and I'll come back to you. So I'm good morning, Mary Beth. I'm Jill Celeste. I'm the chapter president for this chapter of Virtual Networkers, and welcome to this meeting. And I'm also the founder of the Celestial Circle, where I gather purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are ready to become more visible and learn marketing and change the world. We're doing a Facebook Live challenge right now, so if you're seeing people with increased Facebook Lives, it is my fault, and I am not sorry. So thank you and welcome to today's meeting. Susan, what's your turn?
My turn.
Yay.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Susan Rose. I'm officially a member of Chapter 601, but I like to crash you regularly. So I actually have 2 companies. I'm in the middle of a bit of a pivot, going back to my original roots as a content strategist and writer, focusing on helping coaches rock their content and actually get conversions from all the stuff they're already doing. So I'm very excited about that and putting things together for it. And I'm also putting life coaching courses up on platforms to keep doing that. So
awesome. And I forgot
things right now because I wasn't busy enough. So
I forgot to say, make sure to tell us where you're from.
Oh, sorry, Reston, Virginia.
That's right. I'm in Newport Richey, Florida. Faye, your turn.
Good morning. I'm Faye Tarshis, and I own Kathy's Cape. And Kathy's Cape is a cape that I created for those going through infusion therapies to wrap around the shoulder, to keep them warm. They snap in the back so they're not cumbersome. They have pockets to tuck away all their personal things so they don't have to have a bag to sit on the floor when they close their eyes. It keeps them safe and secure. And I am in Alpharetta, Georgia.
We are glad you're here. Yay. Do you know where Connie Joe is, Faye?
I don't. I haven't spoken to her.
Okay. She might just be running late. I wasn't sure she was doing her mastermind this week.
Maybe she is.
Yeah, I forget. That's all right. If she comes in, we'll just say hi. Margaret!
Well, good morning. I live in fabulous Dunedin, Florida. And we won't talk about how wonderful it is because we don't want more people moving here. I am not a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and they'd shoot me for saying that. But in the meantime, I help people make positive change in their lives, and I do that through coaching, life coaching, and career transition coaching, retirement coaching, and my awesome book, The Chatter That Matters, Your Words Are Your Power. And that's what I do.
We are glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mocha, you're next.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
Okay, Charlie, you can do Mocha's elevator speech.
Hi.
Pretty
I'm
cat.
a nightmare kitty. I do everything I can to destroy the Christmas tree. That's her whole thing. So yeah, she is a pain in the neck. I love her to death though. So so I guess it's my turn now. Jill?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, so my name's Charlie Will, and I think in this group I have to like specify this, but I'm an athletic coach. So I coach rowing, and I have a company, Willpower Rowing, and basically what it is. I'm sorry, I didn't have my elevator speech.
That's
ready.
all right. It's all good.
Since I got to talk about everything else. So it's basically to bring the sport of rowing. It's an amazing sport to everybody, all ages, all body types, all even levels of impairment to the sport of rowing. And my personal goal is to make the sport of rowing both indoor and on water to be as pervasive as bicycling and running.
Very cool. You did fine. You warmed right up into it. Mary Beth, Charlie and I were talking about you at Thanksgiving because he noticed that when you were on Zoom with us, the cat has to come. So it's
yeah, that's it. She's saying hi to Mary Beth.
Yay.
We didn't know anything about dogs showing up on Zoom
Hey,
meetings.
dog. We got the dog. We got a cat.
Dogs too.
Judy usually has a cat behind her too. Yeah, I was looking for it. Your turn, Judy.
Okay, I'm Judy Kane, and my business is called Aligned Consciousness, and I help people rewrite subconscious self-limiting beliefs. People come to me usually for 3 different reasons, or categories of reasons, either the big emotions like phobias, trauma, grief, anxiety, or because they are trying to achieve something specific in their life and it's not happening, or because of physical symptoms of stress.
And you are based in?
I'm in Tarpon Springs, which is in the Tampa area of Florida.
A lovely little town just north of Dunedin, south of me. Just dotting along here. Mary Beth, your turn.
Okay, good morning. I'm Mary Beth Decker with Sacred Grove. I am in sunny Alexandria, Virginia. That doesn't mean warm, but sunny Alexandria, Virginia, which is good enough for me right now. I'm an animal communicator. I work with people who are looking to connect with their animals and usually talk about issues. Last night I worked with somebody who was working with a really good dog trainer, Animalara, but the dog attacks people and bites them.
Oh.
So she's working on the outside, I'm working on the inside, and that's one of the things I do is find out what's going on and have conversations. So
We're glad you're here. Thank you, Mary Beth. Connie Joe and Sandy. I see Sandy Joe. Well, Connie Joe go next. Connie Joe, we're glad you're here.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Connie Jo Miller of Enigma Bookkeeping Solutions, and I am a money guide and a bookkeeper and a financial coach. As a money guide, I help people create a vision about their money, and I help them along a path to abundance. As a bookkeeper, I help businesses, and as a money guide, I can do that on a business level or a personal level. And as a bookkeeper, I help people keep their books in order, take that task off your to-do list.
We are glad you're here, Connie Joe.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late. I made coffee this morning without turning on the pot, so
Oh,
it's magic.
amazing how that doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
Well, my sister, Charlie's wife, was here and then she left, but hopefully she'll come back. But that's Sandy Will, and I'm sure she's here to support Charlie, but she's also an author, and those of you who are in the Celestial Circle, she just joined us there, so you'll learn more about her through that. But if she comes back, we'll have her introduce herself at the end. I can tell she's at work because she's
Yeah.
probably going to the copy machine or something.
Yeah,
So,
she said that she may jump on, or if she could.
if she could. So if she comes back in, we'll just all wave. So we'll now move into, sorry, can't talk at work. That's my sister. That's okay. We understand. So we're going to move now. Speaking of Charlie, we're going to move into our guest presenter. As many of you know, Charlie is my brother-in-law. And I was trying to think how many years I've known you, Charlie. And I think it was about 10.
Yeah, it was before I knew Sandy.
Right, because he was friends with my brother first. And so I want to say about 10, and I'm 46 now, so over 35 years.
Yikes, that's a long time.
Makes us feel old, but that's pretty cool. So I'm going to read your bio, and if you have slides, or are you talking?
I was going to talk.
Awesome, very cool. Let me.
And I was going to show a few props.
Oh, cool. I like props. Very good. We're a lively group. So let me go ahead and do your bio, and then I'll pass the floor on to you. So I got to pull up your official. Oh, that's not your bio. That's my landing page. Here we go. So this is Charlie Will. He's got 26 years of experience in the IT industry as both an entrepreneur and corporate individual contributor. Through his career, his focus has been on technical sales. The core competency being explaining and illustrating the value of a highly complex technical solutions to a variety of audiences, from a line of business IT engineers to C-suite level executives. The result being the sale of these solutions. He is also an avid athlete. He's competed at the elite level in both rowing and running. He also coaches rowing at the collegiate and master's level for a local university and semi-competitive master's crew team. So he is a jack of all trades, or as I'd say, Jill of all trades. So Charlie, the floor is yours. We'll go to about 8:40, 8:45. That works for you?
Yep, that works.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. First of all, just want to say a little bit about being in Jill's family. So they're all overachievers. So, Jill's master's degree has this successful business that we're all here enjoying the fruits of. Her sister, my wife, also has a master's degree, is at the executive level at the local water municipality here, or the water management group. Extremely smart women in the family, and not that her brother's not smart. Bill is actually extremely smart, again, at the VP level in IT. My experience at the entrepreneurial level in IT was actually with Jill's brother, Bill, and that 26-year career that I have, I could not have had that. I could not be where I am today without what I learned from him at the very beginning. So definitely a good group to be associated with, and I'm extremely fortunate. So thank you, guys. All right. So as Jill said, I'm a crew coach, and the idea for this talk today, basically to go over some things I've learned from my coaching philosophy and from a training mentality, being both a coach and an athlete, and how to apply them to my business. Was we were going over the plan for spring season. The president of the USF, University of South Florida, that's the collegiate team that I coach for, going over the spring plan, and it was chat. And in the background, I had one of your networking videos up and going, just kind of to absorb. Sometimes I do that with YouTube, just to absorb some information. And I got the idea. It's like, oh my gosh, there's so much of what I'm doing here I could apply to my business and make it better that I'm missing out on, and especially that fear component. Like I'm one of those individuals that is really affected by fear. If I don't think I'm going to do something well, it's like, I don't know, maybe I just won't do it at all. That type of thing. So how to overcome fear, and the whole idea is to use a plan. So I texted her right away, said, can I speak? Can I speak in your group? Because I've got this idea. So of course she says, yeah, but you'll have to wait a couple of weeks because it's so popular. But that's okay. It gave me a little time to prepare and not just get that big huge brain dump that I initially got that day. So the way I'm going to structure the talk today, basically 3 sections. I'm going to go over 5 points in my coaching philosophy that I feel could apply to being an entrepreneur, running your own business, and then 5 things from a training mentality perspective. And then the third thing is some of the inspirational things, books, YouTube, people, of where I've got all this from. So I'll start off with my coaching philosophy. So I coach at USF, University of South Florida, and it's a club sport. So club sports aren't under the athletic department, they're under the student services department. And the idea of having club sports is to teach leadership skills to students. So I work for the student board of the USF rowing team. So of course, kids go pass through this as they graduate, and I get a new president that I have to work with every now and then. So I always suggest that we go through an interview process, just like I'm coming in off the street and they're going to hire me and interview me before we continue on the new season. So I have them actually go to a couple other coaches that are in the same boat, University of Florida, Florida State, same thing, to kind of get an idea of what questions to ask. And always the question that comes up is, what is your coaching philosophy? So I've got this home because I've honed up pretty well, because I've done it 4 or 5 times in my career at USF. So basically what I like to say is I'm a motivator and project manager, because that's really what this is. All right. I've got a group of kids, group of students that have specific skills, specific talents, and I have a goal. And I have to allocate those skills and talents towards meeting that goal. So I have to take them from here to there. And there's always gaps. I have to train the gaps. And so that's like the, kind of the first thing, the first aspect of the coaching philosophy is taking that project manager approach to it, applying it to your business. So the second thing is, and that's like determining what your skills and talents are, putting them to the goal, and identifying the gaps. Now, sometimes doing that, we're sometimes our worst critics, we're sometimes our best critics. So it's always good to have somebody, and Jill, I'm getting ready to plug you here, to have somebody like Jill come in and help you identify your gaps and work you through them. So that's what a coach does. So by all means, take advantage of those resources. So once they identify those gaps, we have to develop a plan, and the project management was the first thing. The second thing is a plan development. So and those plans have to be clear in the expectations and detailed in their execution. So I always take a 3-tiered approach to planning, and I know this is like really common, but I kind of came about it on my own, and I've got the levels termed my own way. So I think of the top level plans, like our season goals, and that's our state regatta, our regional regatta, and the national regatta. So that's like the season goal. So I call those the strategic goals. So then what you do is you take those, look at your resources, and then you develop your tactical or your incremental goals. So this is where we plan all the weeks. So I've got a spreadsheet where we look at like week 1, what our goals are, what we're going to do, even right down to the ratio of, difficult exercises to cardio, to what we're going to do on the water, our stroke rating goals, all kinds of goals. So it's down to that level. And I break that down week after week. And then from that second level, and that seems to be, I noticed in business, a lot of people miss that middle level there to set the incremental goals. We go to the third level, which is the task-based stuff, the transactional stuff. So I was talking about, what we're going to do that individual week, working on those goals. What are the workouts going to be? What are the offsite workouts going to be? And there's a certain level of individual planning in this as well, because as we start to allocate those resources out, there's different seats in the boat, there's different requirements, physical fitness requirements. So we build individual plans, kind of based how things are at the beginning and work. So I saw a YouTube video and I couldn't find it. I wanted to find it and link it for you guys. But a fellow who was saying that you can reach the level of being Superman, but you do it in 4% increments. So you got to set those incremental goals, and like 4% at a time is a good way to do it. So I try and look at that Superman plus 4% type of mentality when I'm doing my goals. And this applies to your business as well. I mean, we all look at like, oh yeah, I want to own like 100, rowing boutiques. Oh, great, I'm going to start working for that. Well, what happens? You get discouraged because you're not going to jump from like, regular mild-mannered Charlie Will to Superman. You have to look at those 4% increments. So like in my case, it's okay, I've got a couple of CrossFit gyms where I'm doing classes there. So I'm starting to build up, doing those 4% increments, eventually have one studio, and then again, work those increments up, and I'll have those 100 studios. So that plan development, that 3-tiered, planning. And again, after I kind of came up with this on my own, I discovered that, oh yeah, it's pretty common and a lot of people do that. So darn, no original thought there. And with that plan, so those are the first two. Third thing is flexibility in the plan. So we all run into this. We all run into like timeline type of problems in our plan, and we have to make adjustments, and it has to be flexible. One thing I've noticed in working is sometimes the roles and resources need to change as well. Like I can use an example at work. I'm a senior SE, so my job is to have more enablement type of activities with our customers rather than doing like transactional configurations and that type of thing. So I've got a counterpart who's really good at developing labs for people to do. When it comes to delivery, oh gosh, he needs a little help. So I have a brand new like associate systems engineer, a junior level position. And this guy is just a natural to do that type of things. So, I have this senior do the development of those labs, and have the new guy who really, traditionally you wouldn't put, a junior SE in a role of actually presenting to customers, but he's so good at it. So, it's exploiting that talent. So sometimes you have to, adjust roles and resources in your plan as well as the timeline. So, total plan flexibility is a necessity, and you have to expect that to happen and be ready, and kind of always have in the back of your mind, like, oh, what am I going to do if XYZ happens? How am I going to change the plan? So plan flexibility is really important. The fourth thing is a data-driven decision process. Right? It's really, really important. So here's where the props come in. I'm a coach. I have one of these. Actually, I have two of these. And the other one's gold or green, by the way. USF colors are green and gold. So yeah, my athletes get a little bit scared when this comes out, because usually that means that's a test, and this doesn't lie. So I'm able to make seat decisions and boat decisions based on performance. I also have this little thing here that I use. This is a speed coach, and it sits in the boat and actually measures the speed overall of the boat. Things like the length of the run, so every stroke, how far the boat is going, and that's a major indication of performance. So I can make adjustments in seats and everything like this, and collect the data, and the data doesn't lie, and it's really easy to make a decision based on that. So also to the erg, the rowing machine, the thing that we use to train on, rowers call it an ergometer, and that's a device that measures work. So we can even pull data on my athletes when they're doing land workouts. So having a data-driven decision process really takes a lot of the emotional aspect out of it, and helps you not make improper decisions or decisions that could negatively impact your business. And I'm not saying all the data-driven ones are correct either, but usually they have a little bit more fruitful results. So take that take that emotional element out. And sometimes that's important, but really having data behind making decisions can help. And then again, somebody like Jill can help in that respect. I always got to plug my sister-in-law.
I paid him.
Okay. Then the fifth thing from the coaching philosophy perspective is the concept that knowledge does not equal understanding. So I saw a YouTube video, and it's in one of my resources. This guy, the channel is called. Oh, that was Sandy saying sorry, couldn't join. Oh well, she can catch the replay.
Yeah, I'll send her the replay.
All right. So knowledge does not equal understanding. So Smarter Every Day is this YouTube channel. A fellow by the name of Dustin. I don't remember his name exactly, but he did a video. He's an engineer. He's from Alabama. I mean, a lot of it is him just like shooting stuff with guns with a slow motion camera, and then like going over the physics of it all. So interesting channel. But one particular video was the engineers the technicians that he works with built this bicycle that when you turn the wheel to the left, the wheel turns to the right. So it turns the opposite way. And, they bet him that he could not ride this bike. And he couldn't. Nobody could. Like, he brought this bike around on a speaking tour and had everybody try it, and they thought they could ride the bike. So his point was he had the knowledge on how it worked, but he didn't have the understanding on how everything went together. And he went on elasticity of the brain and that type of thing, and how his 5-year-old kid, learned how to ride one a lot faster than he did. But he eventually got to the point where he could ride that bike, and all kinds of pathways had to redevelop, and and he eventually got to do it. Then he tried to ride a regular bike, and it took him like a few times, but he was able to get on it. But he was a little confused. But real interesting video, and I make it assigned. I assign it to every Learn to Row class that we have on my master's team, because they're adults. They're in their 50s, sometimes in their 60s. I actually taught a fella who was 94 years old how to row one time. Yeah. So it truly is the sport for everybody. So yeah, I have them watch this video and just let them know. It's like, look, you because I see frustration in some of their faces, especially early on. It's like, I know how to do this. Like, I know I need to be pulling level, but I'm not, and a lot of it has to do with just your, how your brain is reprogrammed, how you balance is really it. Like, people think of balance, but in the boat, we think stability. That's a totally different mindset, totally different pathways. You have to get out of the balance mindset and in the stability mindset. So a lot of that is true with us. I'm a older entrepreneur, so this is a lot of this is new to me. So I have to make adjustments. I have to make new pathways. Example I use of this knowledge equals understanding thing is, watch your average motivational speaker. You go in at the end of it, oh, I knew all that, but do you do it? Is it institutionalized, in your life, these principles? And no, they're not. So they have to be trained and developed. So those are the 5 things from a coaching philosophy thing. I did have like a 6th one. I don't know, maybe I won't do the 6th one. Basically, present and future orientation. So present and future orientation means that you forget about the past. You're always looking forward. And I see this in athletes so much, where they go out, they have a bad race, they're destroyed. And it, you know, it takes such hard work from a motivational perspective, in my case as a coach, to pull them out of that. So, you know, really bringing that present and future orientation in, you know, somebody who can forget about that and say, okay, yeah, that was bad. This was an opportunity to learn what I need to work on, you know, what I need to train for the next race. So present and future orientation. So I did have that, I had that written in if I had time. So any questions so far? Any comments?
Feel free to unmute yourself. Anybody see any correlations in their own coaching business?
Yeah, hi, good morning, it's Margaret, and I was just thinking about one specific individual I'm working with in leadership coaching, and when I asked him to set his goals, and then I said, okay, put your at 3 goals at least, and 3 action steps. It was just a new mind thinking process for him. He hadn't really looked at it to that, even from once you take 1 action step, then you've got to have maybe 3 action steps underneath that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that kind of thinking is really new to a lot of people. So so that I'm glad that you're doing that on the college level too.
Yeah, and you know, and again, I try and teach, you know, my leadership board and that type of thing, and the guys, you know, this method of looking at it. It's like, you know, that tiered goal system really works, and being able to identify them is a big thing. Sometimes you need help. That's where you're coming in. So good, awesome.
Yeah, I think that this is really great information to apply to, especially, you know, these small independent businesses. I've been consulting different kinds of businesses for a really long time, and even people that come out of the corporate world where they were doing project management, you know, they become self-employed and they just don't want to do those processes. You know, they're like burnt out, myself included. When I first came out of the corporate world, I was like, I don't want to do that. But it works, you know, like, you know, what you're saying, especially around the data, because I'm a data person and have worked with it forever. And first year of my coaching business, I just did not want to deal. So I wasn't doing any of the stuff that I know you have to do. You know, I know it. And I know how to do it. And I'm like, I'm a coach now. I don't need to do it.
I'm an entrepreneur. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's real important. And a lot of people coming out of the corporate world, you know, myself included, it's like you had your plan done for you. You know, it's like, yeah, I know what I do. I get it from my boss. I just go do it. Why can't this whole business thing be that way?
Well, it could if you hired somebody, but man, most of us can't afford it.
Yeah, if you hired she would do it for you.
You are the boss. You got to do it.
Yeah. Connie Jo, you had a thought or a question?
Yeah, I'm just so stoked. I just came out of a mastermind about this new program I'm going to be doing called Money Guides. And the idea is to create a vision and a path for people to get control of their money and to change their mindset about money. And this bicycle analogy will just fit perfectly. Just understand, knowing people know how to get a hold of their money. You spend less or you make more. So they know that, but they don't do it. So it's like you've got to create a new pathway. And also the present and future, people look to their past about their money problems instead of saying, okay, the past is the past, let's go on. So this is gold. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Well, okay, and just to add on that, knowledge doesn't necessarily mean understanding, and I see this especially in my master's crews, the older athletes, is when we do drills to go out and work on those and develop those pathways, they get uncomfortable, and I can see the discomfort in them. Yeah. And I usually will have a talk about when you're uncomfortable, that's the new pathways being developed. So you do have to step outside your comfort zone. You know, it's a little painful to do it, but the results are worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Judy Kane, I bet I was thinking of you in Psych K, how those pathways are sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Psych K of helping make those more comfortable is definitely what I help people with. But you know, most of my career was decades in IT management. So I love you're giving the junior systems engineer something that he's got the skills for, because, you know, one of the things to keep people motivated is to play to their strengths, you know, and appreciate what they can contribute. So I think that's something also to remember, that if there's something you're trying to do that just isn't your best, you know, find where the strength and the skill is somewhere else to make the whole
Outsource.
thing.
Right?
Yeah.
For those of us who are solopreneurs on the team, outsource.
Yeah.
It's so much faster. It'll save you money in the long run, for sure.
And everybody feels better about it, so they keep the motivation and feel the achievement. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, and with the age of groups like this, I mean, there's no excuse to not do it. I mean, it's not like you can't find somebody that has the skills.
Right.
So, you know, these types of groups are really good to be a part of, and, you know, exploit other people's talents.
Absolutely.
All right.
You got more, Charlie?
Huh?
You got more content?
Oh, yeah, I have more.
You do?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I do. That was just the first part. So the training mentality is a little bit shorter. Just the 5 things I have there. But one of my favorite sayings I give to my rowers at the end of practice talks is, training mentality leads to a winning reality.
Say that again.
A training mentality leads to a winning reality.
Very good.
Yeah. So, so from a training mentality, and this is more, you know, from an athlete's perspective than a coach's perspective. But number one, technique is important, but fitness is importanter. I figured you'd like that one, Jill. So the thing is, it's like, yeah, your technique is good, and this kind of plays on the knowledge doesn't necessarily equal understanding. You know, you can know how to do things, you can have the the technique down, but if you're 100 meters into a race and die, that doesn't do you any good. So doing things like this, so this is like training exercises for entrepreneurs, where you're going in and you're picking up information, you're learning, learning about how to be more effective with your business and with your clients. So, you know, this is the exercise. This is building the fitness for entrepreneurs. So that needs to continue. Number 2 is a process focus. All right. I think Susan brought that up before, how leaving the corporate world, it's like, I don't want to do all these processes. Yeah, you do. You need to do them to be successful. From an athletic perspective, it's like, yes, I've got I don't have it right here, but I've got my weekly planner pad. That's more to my, my fitness goals and everything than probably my work goals. And I think this next year I'll probably buy 2 of those planner pads. But, I have it like laid out a process, and that process is to make me stronger and less fat.
Who's got that goal?
But yes, you're constantly focused on the process. The third thing is persistence. Keep it up every day. And you have to do this with your clients. Get in front of your clients. So that's kind of that training there, is just that persistence at it. Do that 4%. Keep working on that 4%. Build that 4%. And so be persistent and be consistent. Thing I'm doing over the winter break, we're on winter break now. That's why I can be here this Friday morning. So I'm not out at the boathouse. What I'm doing is I'm doing the winter training plan with them, and I'm vlogging it every day. I used to just post on the Facebook group about it, but this winter break, I'm vlogging it, and this was the 7th day into winter training, and I put up a vlog every day so far. So keeping that consistency, keeping that persistence, getting in front of them to motivate them. So that's all part of that training mentality, persistence and consistency. Fourth thing in the training mentality is continuous accountability. All right. So as you're going through this process, as you're being persistent um, and focused on this, you need to have like self accountability and team accountability. So just keep that in your mind. I mean, you're whatever it takes to get you up in the morning to get out and do it. Actually, doing this vlog has helped me get up every morning. It's like, because the feedback I'm getting from the guys is like, oh yeah, this is really motivating. This is great, Coach Charlie. Great insights. Blah blah blah. So that's motivating me. So I'm getting accountability from them to get up, even as their coach, and they're getting it from me. So that continuous accountability, internal and external, really helps. And then the fifth thing there is training doesn't stop with the completion of a strategic goal. All right. So, don't just like, oh yeah, okay, I can stop now. One guy at a gym I was going to wanted to bench press 315 pounds. So he worked and worked and worked, ate good, everything like that. Came in the gym one day, put up 315 pounds once. That was the last time we saw him. He just stopped working out. I mean, this was at the Tech Data gym. So, I mean, obviously saw him at Tech Data, but yeah, just like stopped working out. Like, hey, what are you doing? Did you join another gym now that you reached that 315? No, I just stopped. What's the point in that? Keep it going. I'm talking about that 100 rowing studios. Well, then after that, it's 500. So, don't stop. Don't stop the training mentality just because you completed your strategic goal. So that was it for training mentality. Any questions, thoughts, comments on those?
I just can't believe he stopped after hitting 315.
Yeah, I know. Just stop.
Well, and I was thinking that if he was going to not continue to proceed to another level, 323, 400, to maintain what he's done. Yeah. That's giving up on it. It's like, okay, I did it. It's sort of like when I skied a couple of black diamonds. I said, okay, I did it, and I don't have to do it again. But I didn't stop skiing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Some people have an upper limit problem, right? They're only afraid to go so high. They can't see past that whatever level they are. And the Big Leap talks about that. The book Big Leap with the fish. And that affects a lot of entrepreneurs. They can only see so high, and they can't get past that level that they are trying to hit. Yeah. Faye, go ahead.
So maybe the thought process was to get to the 315, achieve that goal, and then look for another goal someplace else. Does it always mean that because he wanted to lift weights and he got to his 315 that he needed to go to 320? He may have had a whole entirely new goal in mind.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe it was like, okay, I hit 315. Now I'm going to go do real estate.
There's that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something I didn't consider. But
go ahead, Mary Beth.
This is great. Thank you, Charlie. I was thinking, I was walking up this small mountain, large hill somewhere in Texas, and imagining the mountain was talking to me, and it said, just a little farther, little sister. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, I'd get up one place and you go just a little farther. And it's funny because as I got to each level and heard it just a little farther, and you finally get to the top and you can see it. But it was, I like that idea because the higher you get, the farther you get a different viewpoint. Mm-hmm. And then at least for me, fingers crossed, I get to see the next possibility. It kind of shows up, even though on the ground, I can't see it. But so that's my analogy, and that's been working. And I'm hoping that continues, really. I don't have to see the whole thing. I can get kind of a taste of it, but
yeah, it's like that quote. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just that first step, right?
Just the first step, the next one, and the next one, and then look around and say, oh, yeah, you know what? I can see what I can do over there. So,
yeah, that's a great analogy.
I like that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. That was you. You got to be your Superman, Mary Beth, or Superwoman. That's fantastic.
Oh, there's
All right.
Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, Wonder Woman. Do I have time to do my resources, Jill?
Yeah,
or
go ahead. Go ahead.
really quick. So, I mean, are we done with all the questions and comments too? I just want to make sure that those are covered.
We good?
Okay, awesome. So some of the resources here, and I've been doing a lot of ebooks lately, so pardon my thing. But the first two are books. One is a book called Life is Sport by Jonathan Fader. Life as Sport. Let me see if I can get to the title page here. And
You can tell
sorry.
Charlie's a tech guy. He's got his books on the iPad.
Yeah. Oops. Let me go back to the. Actually, life, and there it is. You guys can see it.
Yep. Life is Sport.
Life as Sport. So that's good. And that's kind of, I got a couple of the points out of here, like the present and future orientation came from this book. The process focus came from this book. So, and it's a good general. If you're not an athlete, you can get a lot of the kind of the coaching and training mentalities out of this book. The other one is, and this is a rowing book. They don't have the cover, but it's Training for the Complete Rower by Paul Thompson and Alex Wolf. These guys are they're coaches for the British rowing team, the national team. So, and they cover a lot on lifting and that type of thing for rowers, but they also cover a lot of the principles of a training mentality and a coaching philosophy in that book. So it's a good book from that perspective. From YouTube, one channel is that Smarter Every Day channel with Destin. And again, like I say, he does do a lot of stuff with firearms, but I'll send the link to Jill to the bicycle the bicycle video. So that. And then also I follow this guy. He's on the British national team, and he basically vlogs his trainings, and it's not like really nerdy stuff about the trainings. I mean, he kind of makes it fun, and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go 30,000 meters, and does that, and we're gonna eat all this food, and because we do all this erg, we get to eat all this food. He's really, really excited about it. So it's not like a nerdy rowing channel, but it's a fellow who is really excited about his training. And just whenever I need some type of positive boost for doing anything, I watch one of his videos, and I always come out smiling with one of them. And then finally, all this stuff, I kind of brought all this stuff together from different areas. And I get an appreciation of that from my dad. So, I have this talk that I give mainly to the rowers about, 6 things I learned from my dad that he didn't teach me. And one of them is that life is your education. Use everything. So, don't be afraid to pull, information, from something else you've done and bring it into, running your business. So like I say, life is your education. It doesn't end with your schooling. So yeah, that's what I got.
Awesome. Yay, Charlie. Good job.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Charlie? Go ahead, Margaret.
So Charlie, I have a challenge for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you're blogging every day. Why not a Facebook Live? Join us from the Celestial Circle.
Yeah.
Your wife doing it.
Yeah. I actually thought about doing that for him, but again, my audience is my crew team, and their schedules are all over the place. They all have jobs. And,
you're giving a lot of excuses there.
Yes, I know.
Just
all right. Yes.
You're out, Charlie.
Right. Yeah, I know. Challenge accepted. I'll try doing it.
Do at least one a week or something.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll tell them what time I'm going to do it, and then.
Yeah, you can do that. They can always catch replay too.
You have it on the Facebook group. You have a Facebook group. It'll stay there so they can see it.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do it in the you can do it live in the Facebook group if you wanted to. Yeah.
All right, Margaret, challenge accepted.
There you go. I'll let you know if he does it. He'll have to tell us. Any other questions or comments for Charlie? I love that 4% thing. You know, as a person who teaches marketing, and a lot of marketing gurus are notorious for the big promise in their programs, like, oh, you're going to make $10,000 next month, and I'm always like, but if they only are making $1,000 a month now, they're not going to make $10,000 next month. It's probably very improbable. That 4% increase is such a great little nugget. Thank you, Charlie, for that. The Superman, I will be curious to know what that Superman video is. So.
Yeah, again, I'll look for it and see if I find it. I looked for it beforehand and I couldn't find it.
That's cool. Yeah. If I find it or he finds it, I'll share it with you all in the Facebook group, our Facebook group. So anything else? Well, thank you again, Charlie. That was really awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I'll be sending the replay link out. Charlie, you're welcome to share.
Okay.
This with anybody if you want. Share with your team or.
Yeah, this may be their vlog entry for today.
There you go. Yeah, that's about getting out of your comfort zone. Here you are. If you haven't done so already, make sure you put your first and last name in the chat box, the email address. Make sure of that. So we're going to move into announcements now. This is your chance to promote yourself, promote what you're working on, anything you're trying to get a referral for, shout out, really anything you like. So I'm going to start at the bottom this time, and that's Miss Margaret. You're up first.
Well, thanks. Just no specific project, but always available to help people with their LinkedIn profiles and with their resumes. You know, even as an entrepreneur, you need to have a really strong resume. You just never know when you may need it for a board position or any other kinds of adventures you might have out there.
Thank you, Margaret.
You can see me at margaretmartin.com.
Yay! Connie Jo, you're next.
Just want to share that I'm so excited about this new Money Guides program that I'm going to be
impression.
I'm so excited. This is just like boom. I just no words. I'm just I think there's a lot of people that have problems with their money, and this whole coaching. I got so many nuggets here. Thank you, Charlie, so much. I'm really, really excited about this. And I have a personal goal to start erging. That's something I want to do, but I need to I need to lose more weight before I can feel like I can really do that. But it's definitely a goal for me to start erging because it's like a whole body workout. Well, I don't have room for a thing right. See, excuses.
I have a treadmill you can have.
She needs
won't be a row machine.
Yeah. Oh, her internet died. Well, Connie Jo, I hope you're okay.
No, I want to erg. I have a friend that got his path by erging, and now he's a competitive rower. So yeah,
very cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Well, keep us posted on your erging.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
Judy.
I will. Santa will bring me up.
Oh, Santa. Yeah.
Okay, well, I got Santa here, but so maybe he can help. So I don't have anything new other than I think I mentioned last time I've got a basic Psych-K workshop coming up in January, but since most of y'all aren't in the area, unless you want to come to Florida in January,
come on down. It's a good time to come.
Yeah. So always looking for connections with coaches because I don't do behaviors, I don't do knowledge, I don't do accountability, I don't do follow-up, I don't do any of those things that coaches are really good at. I just help with the beliefs that are keeping their clients from achieving the goals they're trying to achieve. So connections with coaches are always a good way for me to have a win-win-win situation.
And just to plug, she works with athletes.
Yeah. Any kind of goals.
Yeah.
I've got a question, Judy.
Sure.
Do you have a video or a webinar or anything that would be like a short explanation of what you do that I could share with coaches?
Lots of excuses for why I don't.
Well, if you had just like a
No,
few minutes or
I-
Facebook Live or something that I could share.
it's on my list of things to do. It truly is. It's not the top thing on my list, but yeah, there are several topics I need to cover that way, and it's in the plan.
It would be hard for me to explain it to somebody, but if you had something I could say, watch this and you'll understand, that would be awesome.
Makes total sense. Yeah, thanks. I will. It's like I say, it's on the list.
It's a 4% thing.
You could get more referrals that way, you know.
I know that. Yeah, I don't disagree at all. It's just the days are busy, and you have to figure out what you're going to do each day, and that has not gotten to the top of the list yet, but it's there on the list.
At least it's on the list.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on the list. Yeah, but the list, it's the top third of the list, but it's not at the top of the list.
All right, Judy. Thank you. we'll put you off the hook there. Mary Beth, you're next. But you're muted, Mary Beth.
But I clicked.
I know.
Doesn't matter. No, click the right spot. Doesn't matter. Charlie, thank you so much. I don't directly coach, so I was looking at my own behavior regarding goals and setting goals, and not looking at goals because it irritates me when I don't meet them. So the present and future perspective is going to be really helpful, because I'll tell you what, I think it takes a lot of courage to start tracking how you're doing and looking it in the eye and making a decision to do whatever it takes to move on. And I'm still building that courage muscle. So thank you. I found out that a story that I had given to Quantum Touch, I'm a certified Quantum Touch energy healer, shows up in a book about energy healing for animals. It's called Everyday Miracles. And I just got an email from them. I'm going to share it more, but it's how I kept my dog, Mitsubishi, from going into shock when he was bleeding internally until we could get him to the hospital. And we got like 1 or 2 more years out of it. But I'm in the book. Yay! So, the other thing is I've got the Fur Buddy Healing Circle. My Fur Buddy Healing Circle is on Monday. As I say, it's a little bit of connecting with your animal and a ton of healing. So if there's anybody that might want to join that, there's still openings. I do 6 animals, and they're people. So I'll put the link in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth.
And I've done that Fur Buddy thing. That's great. Yeah, it's a good way to get a quick, an answer to some, specific thing that you're looking for.
Yay! I love that you all are using each other's services. Charlie, any announcements for the Mowing World?
Let me unmute. Just working on my YouTube channel more. Connie Joe, there is I do have a Learn to Row series of videos up there on the ERG. I got the certification. It was essentially the video that I had to submit to get certified, and they didn't say like how many, but I'm the only one I know that I got approved on my first pass at it. So yeah. So yeah, check that out if you
put the link to your YouTube channel, Charlie, in the chat box if you want.
Okay, I got to figure out. I got to do that. I'll do it when I'm done talking. But yeah, just working on the YouTube, and that's another reason why I'm doing these daily vlogs. I'm just doing for the team, kind of help build a cadence on operating the cameras, editing quickly, not being so much of a perfectionist in my editing. And I think that's what holds me back a lot, is because I spend so much time at it. I'm, again, being data driven. So like every 3 minutes of video, I spend like 10 minutes editing. So I need to bring that down.
Yeah. Imperfect action.
Yes.
Yeah, feel free to put the link in. We share links in the chat box, so feel free to do that. Hey, how about you? What's up?
I don't have a whole lot going on. I had a couple sales this week.
Yay!
Random, actually. And I am still looking for connections to a boutique that may be willing to display the capes and share the hugs. And I'm thrilled it's Friday.
Yay, and happy Hanukkah. Or hope you're enjoying your week.
It's been a very busy, hectic, very good week. The days just kind of all
They go by quickly, don't they?
together, which means it's been a pretty good week.
Good. Glad you're enjoying it. Susan Rose, you're next.
Right. So I'm so super excited about my shift also. I'll have more to share in a few weeks, but for now, I just would love to meet coaches or talk to anybody who is spending a lot of energy doing all of this writing and content development, and it's not turning into those calls and those clients. So I'm offering audits to look at what you're doing and, say like, where's the disconnect between all the stuff you're already doing? So it's not about doing more. It's about, getting in there, like, everybody said, having that third eye, look at it and offer some advice, and, and outsourcing for people who have really important things on their list that's never making it up to number one. That's the thing I can also help people with. That's what I'm looking for.
And you're working with, or you talked to Debbie Keevan, right?
We haven't talked yet. She was busy with her blog thing, so we're gonna talk next week.
Yeah. So you all know, like, how's this different from Debbie? They're working it out.
Yeah, so we're gonna work it out, and we're excited about it. So
we're not out stepping on each other's toes. Yeah. I already see differences.
We are very different, so we just need to make sure we know how we're articulating.
Yeah, how you each can help everybody. Yeah. I can see actually a powerhouse between the two of you, honestly.
I think so. And we live close to each other, so I'm actually really super excited.
I
think she'll be super excited once she's done with her thing. She's like, I'm too busy this week.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. Let's send Debbie good vibes today because she's doing her big event. Yay! So I'll go real quick. I know we're at the top of the hour, but I just want to again remind us, next Friday is our open house. I know it's December, it's a busy time of year, but please invite people. Remember, you can share the event page. It's already in our Facebook group. Please think about personally inviting people, talking about why you love virtual networkers and how they might be able to benefit. The presentation from our October meeting is also in the Facebook group. So one of those slides are the open seats for our group. So you can refer to that. If you look in the files section of the virtual networkers group, I uploaded that earlier this week. So if you could think about who to personally invite, this open house is going to be different than the others. We're still going to have raffles. So thank you those of you who offered up a raffle. We are going to have a small financial discount for joining, and then also we'll throw in the Social Circle membership, and I think Laura's going to throw in a social media audit. So we'll have some good goodies there. But also I'm going to interview during the Zoom call Judy and Debbie to talk about the results they've received by being a member. So I think that's really the ambiguity with people, is they're afraid that this isn't as effective as in person. And I know that's a challenge for those folks, even though who do their business virtually, still there's a disconnect there. And I think by talking through people like what Judy's experienced and what Debbie's experienced, but feel free to also chime in. So I'll lead it, and you don't have to prepare anything, but I just really want us to spread the excitement that we all have, and not even just the referrals, but the camaraderie and the learning, and just a safe place for virtual entrepreneurs, because many of us don't see other entrepreneurs during our day. Like Charlie gets to see people at work. This is how we see each other often through the lens of our webcam. And that's great. It works for a lot of us. So if you can please spread the word, and just encourage them to come check us out, no obligation. And we'll have a great time for that as well. Any questions on the open house?
I don't have a question on the open house, but maybe offline, I want to talk to you about how we're going to do our guest speakers for the upcoming year.
Okay. Yep, we definitely. So we are booked. We have speakers booked from January to March. So if you're in the second quarter group, quarter group, get rocking and rolling. Yeah.
Do you have a list of who's in which group? I don't remember.
I don't either.
Hold on a second. Second quarter is Faye, Judy Kane, and Connie Joe.
Ooh, you gotta
Yeah.
get on it. You gotta
Yeah.
get on it.
So Debbie has done a really good, once Debbie gets past today, I'll have her share what she, Margaret, and Hannah, I think was the other girl, and what they've done. And they have a Google Doc, and, you know, it's all very organized.
Do
So,
you want me to share it really quick?
huh?
The way we did it? Do you want me to share it really quick?
Well, actually, if we want to share it in the Facebook group, that way everybody can see it. Yeah, because some folks aren't here today. So that would be awesome, Margaret. Thank you.
Judy and
So,
Connie, I have a couple thoughts in mind, so I'll reach
yeah,
out.
but we can still connect. I have a feeling we're not going to have a speaker on the 21st, so we can probably circle the wagons then too, if you guys are here. So, okay, that's it. Thank you again, Charlie. That was super fun. Yay!
Thank you, Charlie. It was great.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, thank you guys for the opportunity.
Come back and join us.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually can. Next week I'll be at Disney, but
We like Mickey.
You can tell we're Disney families, right? I don't feel, but Charlie and Sandy go quite a bit.
Good.
So everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you all next week.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Be well.
Good weekend. Bye.